everybody. Thank you so much for coming back to watch another one of our career development videos. As you guys know, November is Career Development Month, so we are kind of taking a trip through our staff members so that you guys can meet all of them, chat with all of them a little bit about their journey, how they got here, all of that fun stuff. So today I'm going to talk with Angel Jackson, and I will let her introduce herself. Angel, if you'll just go ahead and tell us what your job title is, how long you've been here, and then just tell us about your journey getting here. How did you end up with Rape Response?
All right, thank you, Brittany. So like Brittany said, my name is Angel Jackson, and I am the Community Engagement Director for Rape Response. And I have been here for 5 years. And what my job duties now is I am over the education program here at Rape Response. And if you don't know about our education program, head over to our website and check that out. We do a Let's Talk program that educates middle and high school students about healthy relationships and what consent looks like in Georgia law. So I oversee that program, but I also am the liaison for the community for Rape Response. So I go out and tell people, different organizations, whoever will have me, churches, community clubs, about Rape Response and how they can receive supportive services from Rape Response. So another thing that I do in my job are fundraisers, and we just finished a fundraiser called Generous Hearts, but it's never too late to give. So if you're still in the giving spirit and want to head over to our website, you can still give a donation. And then I do any type of other fundraiser or event for Rape Response. I help with the planning process of that. And then the last part of my job is, or not last, but another part of my job is grants. And so I help our executive director do some of our bigger grants, but I also try to search out grants that can help further our mission in supporting sexual assault survivors in all 6 of our counties. And when I first started, I guess to talk a little bit about my journey and how I got here, like I said earlier, I started off as a volunteer, and I really loved the organization, and I wanted to do my internship. I graduated from UNG Dahlonega, and so I did my internship for 5 months, and at the time, there wasn't a position, and I wish there was at the time, but that's okay. I graduated with a psychology degree, and however, I'm not sure how I ended up there, but I started working at a local orthodontic practice, and I did love it, but I knew my calling was to work with sexual assault survivors, or any type of survivor who's experienced some type of trauma. So I knew I really loved doing that. So I continued to volunteer for Rape Response, even though I wasn't interning or working there. And a year later, our executive director called and said, "Hey, I have an opening. Do you want a full-time job?" And I'm like, "When can I start? Like today? Can I start right now?" So when I started off as an advocate, and I loved it. I was able to walk through people's journey wherever they were in their healing journey, which was really an amazing part of my job, because every survivor is different. Some people it just happened, and then some people are processing it, and it happened 30 years ago. So it was really heartfelt to be able to walk through each person's journey where they were. So that's probably my favorite part of my job. And then just throughout the years, I kind of wore different hats, and I naturally gravitated toward the education piece of Rape Response. And so I started teaching in the schools and going to do community teachings and trainings at the colleges. And then I was able to oversee that program. And then I guess 2 years ago, I took over the college position, and so I was a college advocate. And then recently, I got the community engagement director position, which is what I told you about earlier. So it's been a wild ride, and it's been really fun. I guess getting here, I didn't use my degree right when I got out of college, but it was it was okay because I knew that if I kept my fillers out there and I kept in touch with some of the nonprofits that I volunteered or worked for or interned while I was in college, that something would open up. So if you're out there, you're not using your psychology degree, it's okay, I promise. Keep putting your fillers out there. One day something will open up.
So would you say that your time away from the social services field kind of in a way helped to solidify for you that yes, this was what you wanted to do?
It really did. I knew, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed working at the orthodontic practice. I met so many different types of people, but I knew it wasn't life-giving to me. And I knew I needed to work somewhere that was life-giving, where it didn't feel like a job. I was excited every morning to get up, and I knew this is hard work. Like, I'm not excited that someone's hurt, but I'm excited that I get to be there for somebody at their lowest moment, and to see their progression is really rewarding. So I felt like when I was I worked at, a department store part-time. When I was at the department store or the orthodontic practice, I was able to help people, but not in a life-changing way. This was, for me, more life-giving and life-changing for the survivors.
So what would you say is your favorite part of your job? It kind of sounds like you're, being able to provide those victim services, but expand on that a little bit.
So when I was more of a victim advocate or survivor advocate, that was my favorite part of the job, is being able to be there for those survivors and walk them through the healing journey. I think my favorite part of that is seeing their progression, when they would come to me the very first time, just how broken they felt and how, like, sometimes hopeless and helpless. And they're their own hero, right? We're not the heroes. They are the warriors. They're the people who are able to get themselves to that healing journey at the point that they're at. But to be able to walk somebody through that process is probably my favorite job. And to see them a year later or 6 months later, and to be able to tell them, like, I told you, you're stronger than you thought you were, and you got this, and we're still going to be here to support you. And to get those emails or text messages or hugs when we could hug, that, them saying, I'm so grateful that you guys were here at the most worst time of my life, that gives me reason to keep coming back every single day. It definitely makes my heart happy. So when I was an advocate, that was my favorite part. Now that I don't do as much victim services anymore, I really enjoy the fundraising events that we have. So getting out and meeting people in our community and making those connections. And every time I do a fundraiser or any type of event, I always have somebody who discloses and says, hey, this happened to me, my best friend, my daughter, my husband. And so to be able to link them with our resources, I really do enjoy that part as well.
So what advice would you give to somebody if they are looking to go into this field, whether that's nonprofit work, victim services, even looking to kind of get their feet wet with anything like grant writing or community engagement or all of the, different many things that you do? What would be your advice to them?
If you're in school and you have the opportunity to do different types of internships, get your feet wet and try all the different things. You might think that you might want to do sexual assault, but maybe you go and intern at a domestic violence shelter and you're like, oh, this is where I need to be, or vice versa. Or maybe you might want to go law enforcement route and you think, oh, well, maybe I want to do the judicial part of it. So I feel like if you can do as many internships as you can and volunteer different places so you really know what you like to do, because I think a lot of times we box ourselves in and we think this is what I need to do and this is what I have to do, and then you're in it and you're like, this is not what I thought it was. The opportunity to be able to volunteer or intern while you're still in school, so you don't have to do all those career changes, is probably my best advice. And be kind to yourself and know that there's a learning curve and keep trying. Sometimes this job is hard and you're like, man, like it could kick you in the butt. And you're like, I don't know. This seems so unfair. Is there a reason why we're doing this every day? But just know, keep the fight, because I promise when it feels like you're not making a difference, you really, really are making a difference. So that would be probably my advice.
Well, Angel, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us and chat with us today. I think that this definitely kind of showed, all the different places that you can go with some really great advice. She talks a lot about interning or volunteering. So if you guys are interested, please feel free to give us a call. You can call us at 770-503-7273, or you can visit our website at raperesponse.com for more information. But thank you guys so much for coming and watching with us, and make sure that you stay tuned for more videos.